What's up, pussy farts? Welcome to a game called Tiny Bunny. I haven't played a game in a long time that wasn't For Honor on this channel. So, today, we're gonna do that. It's supposed to be a horror novel. And, I hate horror, but, I mean, variety is the spice of life, no? So let's just fucking do this, huh? I really like the art style. What did I do? What did I do? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I watched Markiplier play this and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play it. It was a snowy night. Ooh. Okay, I actually can't fucking see. The wind crawled at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song, weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own. The creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. Oh shit, someone's playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if you guys could see that, but someone was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! On my Steam. That guy, huge dick. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Ooh, storytelling. Storytelling! Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. That's a wolf. It's a wolf. I saw a wolf. These fucking dumbass little fucking kids. Hey, put away. I'm gonna make the mom have the deepest one. Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Hide. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. Bro, Conan the Barbarian do be chillin' though. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Olia had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. I've actually never had porridge, so I don't know if it's good or not. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder and a lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish. I don't know that show. The Odyssey. I think this is Russian, so there's gonna be some shit I know. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Yes, very horrifying. Dark, scary, cold, tons of pressure. It's great. Or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Hey, you fucking idiot, pick up the goddamn spoon. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes, deservingly. Oh, wrong button. Okay. I see. What did I just say? I'll get it. Oh! He just disappeared! I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on the other side of the table? Karina. Hey, that's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She could scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No. She's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age, sitting under the table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest?
Grandma! Very old.
I imagined my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed while Olya sleeps nowadays. Fuck! Where Olya sleeps nowadays and saying this in her soft, smooth voice.
Daja's a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it.
Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes. Oh. My middle finger needs to stop. Stop it. Our parents used to love each other back then. Ha! Nerd. I remember listening in one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. That's interesting. I waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with neat, colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive, only all the photos were gone. Glass. Covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eye. I crawled out from under the table. He's back, guys, he's back. He didn't disappear into the fucking shadow realm. Olya was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines inside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. Oh yeah, look, it's a fox. Oh, I thought it was a wolf. I'm a silly goose. Where? It looked like, almost like these optical illusion thingies they put on the back of students' notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and here's... Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Yeah, 'cause you're a fucking idiot. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is, but it still doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you, it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. Yeah, if I was in your position, I would just get the fucking gun and just bah! Bah! You know what I'm saying? Take both of them out. Take them to the back. No one's gonna hear their screams in the forest. It's fine. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Good job, animators. I like that. Went away. Only the frosty pattern, similar to stretched out needle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." That was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Olya always covered her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I was caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word. Fucking hell. Deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V-O. Huh. It's almost like it's divorce or something. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. You and your owl talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of 2, and still. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basement, near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a magier out of yourself and finish eating already. I don't know what that fucking is. I'm gonna look that up. Nothing like fucking growing your vocabulary, am I right? What does that mean? Martyr. Killing someone because of their beliefs. That's interesting. And the owl. There was no owl. But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Olia sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had bye-bye in your closet. And now this? I don't know what is... Okay. But I saw it! Olia shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? That's a bad idea. Never befriend anything you see, especially not the voices. I learned that one the hard way. You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice. Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Oya pouted her lips in rebellion and pushed into the hallway. Rushed. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with keys he just found. A minute had passed. The theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on an incredibly worn out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together twice. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. How do you fix a relationship? Can't glue a relationship back together, little Timmy. I forget your fucking name, but you can't do that, no. Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Leah had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. That's a nice... That's great to see. And then Olia said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of these ridiculous fears. Olia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words and what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Last night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisted hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out using a template. There's a fly in my room. I don't know if it's dead. I don't know if I killed it. I sure hope so. Nope, never mind. It's still alive. God damn it. Okay. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares filled with icy sneers made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their bloodied shoes? That damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Oya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circles of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, They promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their heads, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and I was married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with the TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easy going during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. The fuck does that mean? Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, the creaking old houses, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing in there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Open the blinds. Someone was dancing in the field. Damn, look at them. They're booling. Honestly. They're fucking, hey. They're just enjoying themselves, man. Just close the curtains, go back to bed. They're just chilling. Black silhouettes I could barely make out with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. That sounds nice. Sounds very nice. If I saw that, I would probably just say, "Man, that's enough acid for tonight," and go to fucking bed. Go to fucking bed. Close the damn blinds. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around, holding hands, and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment, then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Uh-oh. Suddenly the music had stopped. See, man, this is what fucking happens. You should've just gone to fucking bed. You're a fucking idiot. This is your fault. You're gonna die and it's your fault. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear, piercing me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. It glided on the squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch-black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. That's not a good sign. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside of a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A frozen torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guest move and scrape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house, and now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with the blankets as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral. My grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. Imagine those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside the sockets and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. Why would you ever imagine that? That's so That's fucking weird. You're fucking weird. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Buyev, underneath the blemished sun and the sea color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay Lard! Yo, there I am, featured. There lay Lard. I'm part of this game, yes. And ashen hair for the spawn from Devil's Lair, to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil, leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman, and then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone was scratching at the front door, hurried clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest instantly, as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the floor with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then the doorknob twitched slightly. Yeah, you know, that's usually not a good sign, you know, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. Then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear, my wet fingers clutched the blanket, and the door creaked open. See, this could have just been prevented if you just closed the fucking blinds. This is your fault. You're going to die, and it's your fault. Fucking idiot. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside a carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Tony. Who the fuck is Tony? I don't know who Tony is. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep, boy? Hey, man, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Olya, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olya frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a moment ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you, unless it's me. Olya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? The question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing furiously under the moon. Uh-oh. Hey. Uh-oh. Yo, hold on. Hey. Fine. The darkness was clinging to the window and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. Gotta get ready for a jump scare. I couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair. Lard is great. What are you talking about? That shit, excellent in cooking. If you use it right, mwah, it's great. Here comes a... Tony, you coming? No, I'm not fucking coming. Okay. Yes, just a moment. Oh, hey, how are you? How's the kids? They good? Are they good? That wasn't much of a jump scare, actually. Uh-huh. I know, I'm pretty tasty, thank you. See, this is why I never sleep. You see my eye bags? Look at this, look at that, look at that. Look at that shit. This is why I never sleep. I never sleep, ever. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Olya and her owl in the morning. Oh, that was the night before. Okay, I got you. That makes more sense. Ding dong! Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I need water. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olya always hides. Tony, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet but still dragged them toward the hallway. Tony, I thought his name was Anton. Am I just retarded? A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. Worry doesn't have a... Okay, you know what? Never mind. It's not even gonna... My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello. The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Volva. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat, and his hands wore a wide smile. Okay. Apparently I can't read. In his hands. Yeah, he had a cat in his hands and he wore it. I thought it said his hands had smiles on them. I was gonna say like, oh, what? No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. That's right, your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just our little daughters miss the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? How the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is alright, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I said in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and to end his unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family's visiting this summer. Wanting to help other people, just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative, not a police officer, stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home. Steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom injected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? 6th. Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. And then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if they'd gone missing? If they would cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it. Poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. The average boys and girls were investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, bam, solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made the parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footsteps that led to the forest, and then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Maybe I'll find that lost boy. I'll get a reward. Oya will be so happy. And not only Oya, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Oya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself, and a whole box of Kinder Surprise. And when was the last time our parents brought us any toys? Last autumn, I think my dad lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. I had little to no idea what was that accountant's job like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us, but nowadays Mom and Dad barely had enough money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Oya. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was just like a little pipsqueak, wow. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals? Or something even worse? Even worse echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Oya. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. What's this? A dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice. How'd she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. And Oya can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Baba is living there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp, so she would see there was nothing but cobwebs, dead tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Oya count outside. 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. What? Across had been so many people come and go in the house. It was black as if it's thrown all human sin from long years ago. It was hanging under the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in place as a lucky charm, but she cut herself with the cross. Sharp corner and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place. Okay, I'm just gonna go to the kitchen. Open the fridge. Well, I could go eat something. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Oya there, but now I could only see meat bits for soup and clumped together pelmenier. I grew to hate them already. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to turn away from home. Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim and there are stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. Ah, you're killing me here. So have you had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now? Told you the kinetoscope will go dim because of your console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings. Please go see for yourself. Strange, she worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands clean of her apron and went to Olia's room. Okay, turn back. Let's go to the front yard. Yeet! Outside. I opened the front gate and went into the field. Carefully, so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half the distance towards the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remembered my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. The hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry, almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Olia. Time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest's piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. I can attest to that. Like being in a fucking tiny little place and being completely dead, but you know there should be sound, is fucking terrifying. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Oya turned to stone listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb. A couple of days before we departed, it was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together, almost like all of it was in a previous life. I think we're having a problem with OBS. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together, almost like all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Olia present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead, cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home. The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. And somewhere far away a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the incoming menace. I think I just broke it. I think the application just stopped working. Oh, okay. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only one me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobbing tree roots slithered around the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and... what is that? Coniferous, yes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze into the ice. Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. Oh, it's a mitten. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow. When I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering Seminarch. Should I take it to the police? The senior officer looked gloomy, but it still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. He was always so anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout. It looked like it came from the river. Vova! As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova, which sounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova! Where? I don't see them. I don't see anyone behind the trees. If I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still. Something was unsettling me about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. Sounds a little racist, yeah? There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. Ah, a shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but then I turned my gaze back to the same place it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any low movement, any small whisper from the thicket and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna save. Alright, I'm taking that mitten. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh, cool. There's a guy. Oh, nice. Another one. Vova. Another one. This shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. Another one. Lots of shadows. I stepped toward the bristling leaves and tried to calm my mind. It didn't budge. I pulled harder, the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. Nice one, kid. Nice. I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Make sure you pick up the mitten, kid. There you go. He do be running, though. He do be running. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Probably one of those fucking wolf things again, it's fine. Snow has slowed me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of the reasons it gave me strength, spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I don't have that voice. Imagine like being like fucking motivational. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air, they sensed my fear. The giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing, a hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dried up raspberry bush, from the twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became vicious, like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I think the other word was viscous, and I just read it as vicious. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? It's come! I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't Guys! I think it's come! Someone or something in the snow was clutching my Oh. Okay. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone, my boots slipped out of the hole, and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump. From there, ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. The house was my line of defense from shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tipped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. But in all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be led in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heart beating in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard? Mom had locked the door. Drowning in fear, I pulled on the knob and it obediently gave way. Ooh! I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. The porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it on the place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the doorknob, wiping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out through the kitchen, chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you to never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone. The breath was too. There was someone in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. My mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment is gone. Mom looked the same she always did. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shining like steel, her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me. I thought... I started as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed instantly, and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there, at the fence! My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again, and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I had always snatched. Something scratched at the door, just like in my nightmares. Mom beckoned me with her finger, and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes of swimming in snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs! Just a small pack of strays, with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me, like a bunny. And what if they were a rabbit? The smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attack Oya? Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they were alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten. Of course! A dark, sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Mom, look, this is Volva's mitten. And the boy the police were asking about this morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom, look. Ew. A shadow of doubt slowly crept onto my mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like something tries to remember their dream, but the image slips away. Stop it this moment. Olia will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time, and you joke around like this? At that moment I realized the mint was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, who cried wolf. Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. A golden-colored pill, reminiscent of a dead wasp, fell into my hand. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home and you... Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep at night, and you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful tasting water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vova's mint. Maybe it wasn't a mint at all. Just like the forest monsters and Olia's owl. Am I going mad? That's interesting. What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect, and my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawnful indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You had the exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric became distorted. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Oya was done watching her favorite Little Mermaid episode and switched to other tapes. I'm going to save right here, because I think the recording's getting a little too long. I'll probably continue this sometime later. Maybe tomorrow, probably. So I'm going to save for now. Okay. Alright everybody, this has been the first episode of a series, Tiny Bunny. I mean, it's okay so far. I really like the art style and the kind of general consensus of the game. A lot of reading, but that's okay. And the music is also very nice, so I'm looking forward to how this goes. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.